Hi, my name is Jennifer Jenson, and I will be reading today from a translated excerpt of Elsa Koester's novel, Couscous mit Zimt, or Couscous with Cinnamon. The novel is an intergenerational story of three women, a grandmother, a mother, and a daughter, and their various experiences. The novel begins in Tunisia, moves to Paris, to Berlin, back to Paris, and the excerpt I will be reading from today is told from the perspective of the middle figure, that is, the mother named Marie, and she is recounting her childhood experiences in Tunisia to her daughter Elisa. My Lisa, I'm not sure. What do you want to know? It's a long story after all. A long story. I had a wild life in Tunisia, ma petite chérie. I roamed the fields alone, free from any watchful eye, and I spent most evenings with the Arabs, with Ulima's family. Ulima was our nanny, our nunu. She spent the days with us, and I was very fond of her. She would wrap me in a bed sheet and then pull on one end, spinning me quickly so that I tumbled out onto the bed. I found it very amusing, and we played it often before my sister Solange was born. Most evenings, she and her family ate with us, as Mamie insisted on cooking the most magnificent dishes. Poulet au citron, roast veal, lamb cutlets, cassoulet, and of course, her famous couscous. My father would ring the bell, and then the workers would come in from the fields, clean themselves up, and sit down at the table with us. They enjoyed eating with us, my Nunu, her husband Suleiman, and their three children. I never played with the two boys, but I loved Aisha, their oldest daughter. Aisha was my own age. We grew up like sisters. By age 3, we were fighting over who got to play with the kittens. I admired her glossy, dark black curls. My hair was also black, but straight and boring, and while Mamie always cut my hair short in Tunis, Aisha's hair tumbled down her back, the curls often falling into her face as her almond eyes glared out at me. On the Fridays my Nunu didn't come to dinner. I would go to their small house at the end of the chili field. My father grew chilies along with the wheat. I would run down the hill and then the small path along the wheat field. Not the boring, wide lane our car always took, but the narrow path that went along the neighbors' olive trees. And I'd start to sprint. Olives to my right, chili peppers to my left, and the red earth below me so wonderfully firm that I believed I could feel myself dancing on the globe as it spun. Sometimes I stopped, picked a ripe pepper, and brought it to Aisha, knowing full well that she would make me take a bite of it. And of course I would bite it. I had to prove to her that I was a real Tunisian like her. And then the heat would burn my tongue and my throat. I never asked for bread or water to cool it, though. Never. I showed her I was one of them. We usually ate couscous at Alima's. Although I would never say it out loud, it tasted almost better than Mamie's, because we ate with our hands and tasted with our fingers. I would stuff the sauce-drenched couscous in my mouth, take a bite of the merguez sausage, and then lick the red, greasy sauce from my fingers while smiling at Aisha, whose mouth was also completely red. Aisha would teach me some Arabic, most of which I've forgotten. Khobz is the word for bread. See, I still know that. I was always jealous of how Aisha and Ulima would move fluidly between French and Arabic. In the middle of a sentence, they would suddenly switch languages, and I would no longer understand until they, equally suddenly, would speak French again. Aisha felt sorry for me. You couldn't go through life only speaking French. That would be sad, she told me, so we would sit on our 2 stones under the lemon tree that Mamie had planted in the courtyard and study. The lemon leaves smelled so good when you rubbed them between your fingers. Some words still carried their sweet scent into my nose long afterward. I even knew a couple of sentences, you see, but I've forgotten it all. It was all so long ago. Mummy liked that I spent so much time with my Nunu and Aisha, with the Arabs, as she put it. That was just fine with her so long as I was out of the house. She did sometimes think I was a bit filthy when I would come home, red sauce on my fingers and feet covered in dirt. "Were you with the Arabs again, you dirty little mudlark?" she would say, and then send me off to take a bath. Thank you.